All right, time for day number 2 of grind style calisthenics split. We had day 1 yesterday, push-ups, pull-ups, of course, everybody's favorite. And then today we have what I call the support chains. Support chains are the flexion chain along the front or the anterior chain. Then you have the extension chain or posterior chain, the lateral chain. So we start with, of course, the tension phase, flexion chain first. We have the cat-cow exercise. What I'm basically doing is I'm trying to engage my abdominals at the top, shoulders are forward, and then as I come down, still keeping tension in the abs, top and bottom. Remember, it's much harder to keep tension in your muscles in an elongated position. This is especially true with the abdominals, which is why a lot of people struggle to get effective core workouts, because their abs are only really working for a fraction of the time for each rep. So we got this turn on, and we have our stability phase. And it's just basically a crawling action, stabilizing in the shoulders, the abs. We also have, of course, your lateral chain, which is good to fit in here. So stability phase for tension control, lateral chain. I don't really work all that much as far as the tension control and stability. It's kind of a supplemental work in the grand scheme of things, but still worth doing. The key is with these is to pull your shoulder blades together. You don't want to be here and then you're still rounded forward. So when you do your T-plank, you're not here, but here. And that's where you get your stability. And then we have the stability phase and tension control for the posterior chain. So for this, basically engaging the spine, the erectors, extending up. Just basically making sure I'm allowing tension to go down my back rather than into my lower back. Oh, and for the glutes and the hamstrings. So for glutes and hamstrings, I'm just standing, tensing up all the muscles on the backside. I'm actually pulling my foot kind of backwards. It's a good thing to do to practice on a daily basis because, again, it's about tension control. And a lot of folks have trouble putting tension into this part of their body because we sit so much. So just keeping and just practicing tension control here, and also it's good to kind of place your hands on something. So now I've got a flexed hip and I'm practicing here because, again, elongated muscles are harder to contract. So now we've got a little bit of a stretch. So if you ever feel like, oh, I feel it in my lower back during like deadlifts, kettlebell swings, or anything like that, this could be why. Because when you're coming down, whatever your technique, if this is not holding tension, it goes right into your lower back. Even if your technique is perfect, you're still gonna have stress where you don't want it. Because remember, force is going through your body some way. It's like electricity, like a lightning going through you. So the only question is it going into places that are good for you, like your muscles, if they can hold tension? But if your muscles can't hold tension, that tension control is pretty poor, it's going straight into your joints. And there's not really anything you can do about that other than avoid the exercise, lighten the resistance, or get your muscles to turn on. Because if your muscles can handle it, it literally sucks the stress right out of your joints. We'll have a little stability chain or stability phase for the extension chain. Just alternated table bridge. Paying attention if you have any like twisting in your hips. You don't want to lift and have your hips twist, but rather keep your pelvis square pelvis to the floor. while you're doing this. You can crab walk is good, back and forth. It's good for the shoulders and again, good for the wrists. All right, let's just jump right into it then. All right, so first we got our flexion chain here. We'll be using the grind straps for saw plank moving into knee tucks. And again, the handles are built to adjust the size of your foot sling, so that way when you put your foot in, you can push against the foot or the heel against this to create tension in your shin, because you don't want to have your foot just laying in the strap like this, because that doesn't require tension here, and the tension can't flow up the front of your body. Therefore, you have less support and stability in your hips and in your abs. So when we set up, we've got a nice big handle, nice big loop rather, the foot here, and that just goes right down. Of course, the handle locks in place under weight. So as soon as I put my foot in and I lay on it, this can't move, but I lift and it moves. Again, you can check out down below, I left the link, how you can build your own set of grind straps. I just ordered a new pair myself. It'll run you probably about, depending on how you do it, about 15, 20 bucks when all is said and done, depending if you use PVC, maybe 30 or 40 if you go with premium handles. Anyway, so hands on the floor, position, tension, and resistance. Back, and then up. The further back you go, the harder it is. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. As a reminder, if you feel it in your lower back, that means your abs don't have enough tension to support your core. So you feel in your lower back, terminate the set or greatly reduce the resistance by either getting rid of the saw or just going into a straight plank. So when we want to get out, all we got to do is lift that up, and it's real easy to pop out. We're not dealing with like trying to get out like you would with a smaller handle. It's easy in, easy out, very secure, and very solid. Grind phase for the extension chain. So these are single leg hip bridges. So kind of a convict conditioning, progressive calisthenics style. So set up with shoulders tight and back. That way I'm sending tension down my back rather than into my lower back. Leg is on my center line, so I'm not doing this here. My foot is straight on my center line. The other leg is here. It's not kicking up as I do this. So I'm going to drive my left foot into the floor, tense my glutes and hamstrings, and lift up with the muscles in the back of my leg. One of my hardest to engage chains. I mean, this is just something, it's taken me years to get just this level at it. Because again, it's like my tension control sucks, quite honestly. And there's no exercise, there's nothing that can remedy that other than just practicing and getting good at using your muscles. Until you do that, everything's going to suck. Every exercise, every workout, no, nothing will help you until you learn to turn on those muscles. And once you do, suddenly everything works. Every exercise, every workout, it is the thing that makes your training effective. Better on the right side. That's a decent start. All right, anterior reflection chain grind set number dos. Handle down, locking in that heel. That's what makes it stable and secure. All the way down. Take your time always getting set up. You don't want to race through these. Not a competition. You can make this easier by coming backwards. Going forwards makes it more difficult. So into the heel, flexion, up. It's hard in a hurry. All right, set number 2. Give you the other side view here. Here we are. Position, tension, and resistance. That's definitely feeling a lot better. Again, better than last week. If it feels better, it's better. It doesn't have to be right. It just has to be better. Because if you keep doing things right, you're not doing things better and you'll never make any progress. Get a little stretch. One of the telltale signs in that exercise is if you feel it a lot in your lower back. You shouldn't feel it that much in your lower back. You should feel it in your upper back and your glutes and your hamstrings. If you feel it too much in your lower back, that means one of those areas isn't doing its job. It's not on intense enough. And a hamstring finisher. So we got the handles about 5 inches above, because I want to put my heels in and have the ball of my foot against the handles. So again, if I put my weight on here, these will lock in place. So just roll on back, heels on in. That's a little low, but it's okay. It's acceptable. One of the nice things about these straps is the ball of the foot isn't going to hit a strap like a single line design. It'll be able to move past the straps. Anyway, so shoulders are packed. Once again, we're laying on the floor, but the floor does not support your back. It just holds you up. So you're packing your shoulders, that's where your support is. I'm gonna put my hands here. This is easiest, this is harder, and this is harder still. Because now I'm carrying the weight of my hands and I can't push into the floor with them. So there. Hamstring curls. Just get what range you can. And that's about all I got. You just pop out and you're finished with your hamstrings. And then we have the finisher for the core. Just a simple plank, holding for about 20 or 30 seconds. And we can adjust the resistance by how far out we stretch. So handles down, good, no more slings. Now we're on our handles, and cat, and we just plank out and on the stretch, making it difficult for roughly a 20 count or so. Usually I'll have like a stopwatch or something down there on the floor so I can watch, but right now I'm just gonna kind of feel it out. Try to keep breathing. Keep your shoulders square. There we go. Remember, you don't have to go to absolute collapse and muscle failure, even on your finishers. You're just trying to make the muscle work to a bit of a higher level of fatigue to induce a little bit more muscle growth and hypertrophy. And finally, we have the lateral chain work. Now, keep in mind, I'm doing level 6 in this workout out of 6 in the grind style method. This is a very intense way to work all the muscles on your side as well as the muscles along your spine. So use the easier methods if you haven't been training your lateral chain very much. The first time I did this, just clean out, I could barely like turn and twist and bend over for a week because all the muscles along my spine were just so sore and stiff from how intense this is. So we bring the handle way up because we just want the loop. You just want the loop, and we want both feet in like so. Pull the toes up. We don't want to point the toe away. We'll pull the toe up, and again, that sends tension and force along your entire chain. One foot on top of the other, and again, a lot of the stability's in your back, so keep your shoulders back on this. You don't want to be hunched up. Back, up, and down, up. 12 here. And down, pencil down, and then flip around to the other side. So I'm not putting the strap around my ankle. You notice it's right on the instep. I suppose you could put it on the ankle, but you might have pressure points on that one. Might be uncomfortable. All right, shoulders back and up. Again, the further you go, the more intense that becomes. That one felt harder. My technique might have been a little bit off on that one. Usually I'm pretty balanced between those two sides. All right, one more. So yeah, I'm not on the point of my elbow either. I'm not like this. I'm leaning my shoulder ever so slightly forward, so the force is more in the middle of my forearm versus like leaning on the point of the elbow, which can be quite uncomfortable. I'm using a mat here, not because of padding, but this floor is really dirty. Yep. I'm always getting little stones and stuff stuck in my arm. Keep it to 10. On that one, reached out for a little more intensity. It's one of the things I love about these kinds of exercises, is you can just make them as hard as you want, right on the fly. So if you're aiming for a little bit more difficulty, you don't have to swap out weights or grab a different pair of dumbbells or anything. You just shift 1 or 2 inches more to the side and suddenly you're in a whole nother ballgame. All right, let's see what I can figure out what I did last time. More stability left. Ah, feels better. There we go. So there you go. There is my support chain grind style workout. You want to learn more about grind style calisthenics? Check out my book. It's in the description down below. You want to learn more about my grind straps, how to make your own pair, description and videos for that are down below as well. And as always, thoughts, comments, questions, all that great stuff. You're probably not new to this YouTube thing. So thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow for my leg training video. Be fit, live free.